Have you ever thought, I used to have style, but for some reason I don't anymore? Or I need to step up my style because of a promotion or a change in my role? Or maybe because the styles that used to look good don't anymore? If so, you're not alone. In fact, a couple months ago, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal, and they mentioned that Google searches for how do I figure out my personal style was up 50%. Now, discovering or rediscovering your style sounds big. It might even feel big, but honestly, it's a lot easier than what you likely think. There's only three quick steps between you and your personal style. So, in this episode, we're going to dig into each of them. And by the end, you'll know exactly how to start creating a signature style that supports you and your personal or business brand. I'm Angela, your Petite style coach. And when you're ready, let's dive in. Welcome to Inside Petite Style, the only podcast created exclusively for women 5'3" and under. You've built an incredible career. You've navigated all the crazy life changes. And somewhere along the way, getting dressed stopped being easy. Maybe your body's different or your role is different, and your closet, it just has not kept up. I'm Angela Foster, Petite Style Coach since 2018 and creator of the Spark Petite Style Method. And together, you and I will get your wardrobe back in shape. Every week, we'll talk about why petite proportions require a different approach. Discover what actually flatters your body shape and works with your lifestyle. And get all the insider shortcuts on where to shop so you're not wasting hours scrolling or, even worse, settling for good enough. This is about more than looking good. It's about walking into any room, whether it's a big presentation or client meeting, a family event, or heck, just Tuesday, and feeling confident, polished, with a style as smart and savvy as you are. Let's get this style party started. What's our goal when it comes to a signature look? And why is personal style and brand image so important? Well, you've likely heard this stat before, and that is the time it takes to know, like, and trust you or your brand has increased from 7 to 19 touch points, which only matters if you want to make more sales, get a promotion, or get offered a big visibility opportunity. But if nothing consistently stands out when they see us, then who knows how big that 19 number could grow to be. So our goal is to use a consistent brand image to our benefit and shrink that 19 touch points to a whole lot less. We're going to do that by getting super clear about the three steps so you can avoid costly mistakes and keep building on the momentum that you've created. One more thing before step number one, and that is take your time. While the steps are easy, give each one all the thought that you need. Let it marinate overnight or over a couple of nights, and then revisit your choices and make sure you still love them all, right? Because that's the beauty. You have all the power and can choose whatever you want. Okay, that's a lie. There's actually a second thing. While you're walking through the different steps, try to avoid shopping and purging your closet. Now, I know that is a huge ask, especially at this time of the year. But honestly, most of us have enough stuff to wear to get by the next couple weeks. And we don't want to add anything else to our closet that may not be right once you pin down the details of your personal style. The same thing with purging. You don't want to get rid of anything that you might actually regret. Step number one is color. When you're the founder, especially when you're the face of the brand, your company colors will play a big part in your wardrobe decisions. Say your brand colors are, navy, maroon, and cream. Then consistently adding a touch of one or more of those completely makes sense. Now, when you're an executive or a director or a C-suite in a large company, then you're building your personal brand and you'll want to consider a couple of things. The first one is color psychology and the colors that flatter your skin tone most. When it comes to color psychology, there are oodles of assets out there available. If you choose to use your favorite AI tool, be sure to add some context to the prompt. So, for example, I'm creating my personal brand image and looking for the best colors to add to my wardrobe. Here's the impression I want to give to potential clients or my peers and the company leadership, or fill in the blank. and then finish it up with using color psychology. What colors would you recommend I wear? When it comes to the colors that flatter your skin tone best, Jeannie from Color Guru was on a couple of weeks ago and talked a lot about the importance of knowing your best shade. So I definitely will not belabor the point. However, I will add the link to that episode in the show notes so you can find it easy, along with the discount code that Jeannie was kind enough to give us. Now, one last thing on color before we move on. I'm going to challenge you just a bit. And if you choose something like black pants or bottoms paired with white blouses and tops, then give it a bit more thought. Not because it's a bad combo, but because it's so common, it'll be harder for you to use your colors to stand out amongst the competition. Step number 2 is finding your signature shape. Because congratulations, you have your colors all nailed down now. Or if you don't yet, you will shortly. So let's use the scenario that we had before, where your brand colors are navy, maroon, and cream. And just for a moment, imagine we have one woman and she's decided to wear her brand colors, and she has on a dark blue navy pair of jeans. And she paired that with a cream colored tank top and a burgundy moto jacket. While the other woman, same brand colors, but she's decided to wear a cropped maroon blazer with a mid-length maroon skirt and then a beige blouse underneath with a bow neckline. Same exact colors, very different messages that those two women are sending. There's not a right or wrong, they're just different. So color is amazing and it's a great place to start, but we need to take it a step further. And that's where we get into the signature shape. Sarah Jessica Parker does a great job of this. She frequently uses volume on the bottom with either dramatic fit and flare dresses or full skirts, whether they're bubble or pleated or tulle. Victoria Beckham has done a great job of creating her signature look with her long, wide leg or flared leg pants. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen to a less dramatic extent by consistently wearing really relaxed, oversized silhouettes. All 4 of those ladies are incredibly savvy. So it's tough to tell if they're signature body shape number 3s who have decided to add volume to the bottom or number 4s who need to add volume to the bottom to create the illusion of balance. Either way, they've chose a flattering silhouette and use it consistently to reinforce their signature style. Speaking of body shape, in case you're new here, first of all, thank you so much for stopping by and welcome to the Petite Revolution. We're so happy to have you. As soon as this episode wraps up, you'll want to take the Petite Body Shape Quiz. Here's the reason why. For petites especially, it's critical to know the styles and the silhouettes that flatter your body shape best. We have less vertical real estate, and the choices that would just be questionable on a tall woman will make us look shorter and wider. Now, when it comes to creating or refining your signature brand style, like we are talking about today, it's even more important, because we definitely don't want to choose a shape that defines our style and then learn later on that is not working on us. The quiz is super fast. It's 7 or so questions and takes about 2 minutes. And it lives full time at insidepetitestyle.com. I'll also add the link to the episode description so you don't have to hunt it down. Okay, step 3 is finding your signature. Now, I used to call it signature accessory, and yes, sometimes it is an accessory, but not always. So I kind of loosened it up a little bit so we could be more flexible. Now, let's talk about what a signature is first. And it is something that you're rarely, if ever, seen without when representing your brand, whether it be in a video or in an image on your website or when you're featured on TV or giving a keynote address on stage. Let's talk about some examples of women who have a very distinctive style signature. The first one that always pops to my mind is Mel Robbins. And one of the first things that you probably see in your mind's eye when you think of her are those big black glasses. I don't know about you, I've never seen her without them. The second great example is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And I never watched an interview with her or saw a picture of her where she did not have one of those white doily collars with her black judicial robes. And then finally is Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank. You could argue that she actually has two. The first one is her short blonde pixie haircut, and then the second one is her pastel suits. She is incredibly consistent with both of those. So you can see we have black glasses, the white collars, and then her hair and pastel suits. Now, one other thing that I want to mention first before we talk about some different ways of deciding what that is that if you do the majority of your work on video where they only see you from like the bust and up, keep that in mind, because if you do most of your work virtually or through video and you decide you want to have like an awesome pair of shoes as your signature, nobody's ever going to see it. So something to keep in mind there. Now, let's talk about ways to decide what your possible signature could be. So when you took the Petite body shape quiz, you picked your favorite feature. I always think it's so clever when women choose a signature that not only shows off their favorite feature, but also can then become very distinctive to them. So that's where I would start. If you and I are not connected on Pinterest or follow each other or whatever Pinterest calls it, then I will put the link in the episode notes also, because I have a Pinterest board for the majority of signatures that previous clients have picked, and that might give you some good inspiration or at the very least a jumping off point. Do you know what time it is? Yep, it's time for a style challenge, because listening is good, but putting all of this information into action is what really makes you excited to get up and get dressed and love your brand style. So your challenge for this week is, while you're over on Pinterest, to create at least one board with your signature look that's going to represent your personal or business brand. When you're doing this, think about all three steps, right? The colors that you want to choose, the shapes that you want to utilize, and of course, your signature. And when you feel like you have a really good handle on your signature look, please be sure to share the URL with me so I can check it out and cheer you on. All right, my friend, that is all for this week, but be sure to follow the show so that you never miss out on a Petite style tip, and I will see you next week. Have fun and stay stylish. Thanks for tuning in to Inside Petite Style. When you're ready to create a wardrobe that fits your height, flatters your body shape, and makes getting dressed fun and easy, head over to InsidePetiteStyle.com and take my free Petite Style quiz. You'll get personalized tips and strategies made just for your proportion and your height. And hey, you know that girlfriend who's always rolling up her sleeves and hemming her pants? Share this episode with her. She needs to know she's not alone and that there are real solutions. See you next week. Until then, have fun and stay stylish.